Marisha here, and today I'm going to talk about how Easter is celebrated in the UK versus in the US. Now, this is my third Easter in the UK, but it's my first time discovering some of these differences because my personal circumstances are different. For starters, my first 2 years here, I was not working a full time job and was not really aware of when the bank holidays are. But this year is different. And so the bank holiday for Easter is they get Good Friday as well as Easter Monday off. So over here, Easter is a 4 day weekend. And if you're in school, your Easter break is 2 weeks long. It always includes, Easter and Good Friday and obviously Easter Monday. So I don't go back to work until Tuesday as a teacher. In the States, spring break is not always tied to Easter. Sometimes some school districts it is, but other school districts it's not. And in some districts, if it's not aligned with it, they don't necessarily get Good Friday off, let alone Easter Monday. Nobody gets Easter Monday off in the States. So that's one difference is automatically 4 day weekend for most people. The other difference is I didn't have occasion to make an Easter basket until this year when I've got a friend who I thought, you know what? I bet they won't get an Easter basket unless I make them one. So I'm going to make them one because I love making people Easter baskets and Christmas stockings anyway. It's a lot of fun for me. So I made it a mission to go find materials and make this person an Easter basket. When I presented it to them, they were like, "What is this?" And I said, "It's an Easter basket." And they said, "Never heard of it." And I said, "What? You guys don't do Easter baskets over here?" And they were, pleased, obviously, because hello, here's a bunch of chocolate. But, then I had to kind of explain to them what an Easter basket is and how we do them in the States, and that at least in my family, I don't know if this is a family thing or if more Americans do this. My parents would hide the baskets and we had to search for them. So, in addition to having like egg hunts, we also on Easter would have to like find our Easter basket. Um, and I thought, is this just this friend? Are they just weird? So I texted a couple other British friends to ask, have you heard of Easter baskets? And one of them has kids who are like 12 or 13. And she said, yeah, the girls just got theirs for their Easter egg hunt. The other one is older than me. And she asked, you mean to collect eggs in? And I said, well, yeah, but they have like chocolate and some toys and stuff. And she was like, no, we never did that. I never did that with my kids. Um, so I suspect that what it is that people of my generation and older did not experience having Easter baskets, but that kids today are starting to because of the increasing American influence from TV shows and social media. In fact, I Googled, do British people do Easter baskets? And I found a mom's forum, right? A mom's forum online where some of the moms were asking, like, are you guys doing Easter baskets? What is this? Is it an American thing? And several people were chiming in, yeah, it's an American thing. And like moms are doing it to get like Instagram hits, right? Like that they thought they were under the impression that this is like a new thing that has been started by mothers of Instagram, not realizing that this is something we've been doing in the States for decades. Um, so I need to check with my friend and see if she really meant it's just a basket that they use when they go on an Easter egg hunt, or if they are doing baskets the way that we do them in the States. So um, here, normally what happens, and I think this is still probably in the majority of cases, is parents will get their kids an egg, but it's a big egg. So this is an egg that my department chair got me. Super sweet. And you'll see it's Smarties. For my American audience, this is not our Smarties. It's a completely different candy, and I might do a video about that sort of thing some other time. But Smarties over here are similar to M&Ms, so think candy coated chocolates. This is not as big as you can get for these. This is probably one of the smallest ones that you can get when people are talking about chocolate Easter eggs over here. You can get them Smarties, you can get Maltesers. I've seen, I think, Milky Way, different sorts of like chocolate candy brand things. And so what it is you'll open it up and it's this foil, it's a hollow milk chocolate egg, and then it's filled with Smarties. Um, so if you're getting your kids this, and especially if you're getting them one that's even bigger than this, because like I said, there you can find ones that are plenty bigger than this as well. I guess it makes sense that that would be the one thing that you like get them. In the States, though, when we're talking chocolate eggs, we're thinking of this size. You can get these over here. These are Reese's. And obviously, because it's a British brand, you can find Cadbury really easily. And Cadbury is popular in the States as well. That's usually what we're thinking of when we're thinking of a chocolate egg. And when we're putting Easter baskets together, generally speaking, you might just have like two or three of these in there along with some other small candies. So you might have a couple of the small Reese's peanut butter cups or the little bite-sized Snickers, whatever. But then you'll also have jelly beans. And my mom, who is awesome, sent me a little Easter package, and she sent me this plastic egg, which is what we use for egg hunts, but also use in Easter baskets to put in some candy, but also some non-candy items. So this could easily have had, like a bracelet or a small toy or something in it. And I think she filled this with, it looks like, um, junior mints, and jelly beans. But jelly beans are not popular over here. I have not seen jelly beans over here the way that you see them in the States. In the States, they are ubiquitous at Easter. You can't blink without finding jelly beans in the Easter aisle of any store that you go into, including gas stations, right? Um, I think they must exist over here, but I honestly cannot tell you that I've seen them. But I have to believe that I could find them if I really, really wanted to. Maybe. If you're English, let me know in the comments. Do you guys do jelly beans? Is that like a thing? Because I really have not seen them. The other difference um, in terms of Easter celebrations, things that I don't think British do, or if they do, they're doing it differently than we are, is dyeing eggs. Because I have also never seen an egg dyeing kit over here. So for my British audience, we can get these in the States again pretty much anywhere for like a buck. Well, these days it's probably like $1.25 or $1.50. But basically it's egg dye and it's these little pellets that you'll drop in, dissolve into vinegar and water. And then the kit will also come with one of these wire dippers. So you bend it and then you can put the egg on here and dip it into the dye so that you can pull it out without getting your fingers dyed and messy. A lot of the kits will come with stickers. They'll come with a wax crayon so you can draw designs on the egg before you put it in, and then the dye doesn't adhere to that part. Some of them might come with plastic wraps that you put, like sleeves that you put on the egg, and then you dip it in boiling water so that it sort of melts or shrinks around the egg. People kind of go all out in dyeing eggs and decorating them in all sorts of ways. People might use permanent marker, they might use actual watercolors. Some people will just dye a hard boiled egg, but other people will, tap a hole into a raw egg on each end and blow the yolks out so that it's a hollow shell, and then decorate the shell and then use it as an actual ornament. Um, People get really creative, and I have not seen any egg dyeing kits over here. So I imagine there's got to be people in the UK dyeing eggs, right? If you do, let me know in the comments and let me know, are you just using food coloring? Are you using natural dyes like beets and onion peels? What are you doing? Or is it really not much of a thing over here? Um, so those are some of the major differences. In the UK, you've got the giant chocolate egg. In the US, you've got an Easter basket filled with kind of smaller treats. Um, in the US, you've got egg dyeing. UK, not so much. They do have egg hunts. I think I see those advertised, I think, more than Well, maybe not more than in the US, about the same level. So they do have the egg hunts over here. One of the things that they have in the UK that we don't do in the US is hot cross buns. They are ubiquitous over here. You cannot go to any grocery store without seeing their own uh, brand of hot cross buns packaged. You can get them at fancier bakeries. I had never seen, let alone eaten, a hot cross bun when I was in the States. My only point of reference for them was, when you're learning the recorder, the first song you learn is hot cross buns. And so I knew they were a thing, and I could have guessed maybe what they might look like, but I had no idea what they tasted like or any of that until I came over here. I would say they're not something that I would seek out. I'm not going to go buy a 4-pack of hot cross buns from Tesco. But if they're on offer, like especially there's a guy in my church who will make them from scratch, homemade hot cross buns to bring to Easter. I will definitely eat one of those. Um, so hot cross buns, not a thing in the States. And then for Easter dinner in the States, I would say it's almost always ham. Um, and in the UK, it appears to be, based on the advertisements that I'm seeing from grocery stores, that it would just as easily be roast chicken or leg of lamb, or yeah, maybe just a normal Sunday roast, really. Um, so those are a few of the differences between the two. One last thing that I will talk about is a free event that is on Good Friday. So if you find yourself in London over Easter next year, in Trafalgar Square, they put on a passion play on Good Friday. There's actually two showings. There's one at noon and one at 3:30, and it is packed. I went for the first time yesterday, and because I'm filming this on Saturday, and it was thousands of people. And at one level, like close to the stage, I guess, you have to sit down. So all these people are sitting on concrete for like 2 hours to watch this play. But it was a really great experience because it's really immersive. First of all, they would bring people up from the audience to participate, sometimes to wave branches for the Palm Sunday scene, and then others to shout crucify him for the Barabbas scene. But they also would move, they had a couple of aisles that they'd created, move throughout the audience, and they had horses and donkeys and full costumes, and Jesus is carrying his cross like through the audience. So it is really immersive, and you're here in like a sea of people, and there's something really cool about being in a situation where you're thinking, yeah, this isn't going to be really popular because, people have a 4-day weekend. They're going to skip town. They're going to sleep in. They're going to go shopping, whatever. But to see, thousands of people have come to watch this, and it's completely immersive. It's a really great experience, and it's free. So I didn't do a separate free London video for this, but this is an extra free Easter, Good Friday activity that you can do if you find yourself in London next year. Like, subscribe, tell your friends how gnarly this channel is, and I'll see you next time.